Hello. So again, another session on Python AI developer course. Now, dictionary. Now, as I have demonstrated in the previous, we created a list, and we demonstrated in the project that in a list we can add some tasks, we can delete the task. Now, in a sense, it's a dynamic form of an array, the list. Now we study now a dictionary. Now essentially a dictionary, it could also change, but the component inside it, which is the key, the assigned key and the tuple, are essentially immutable. What do I mean by immutable? Immutable meaning you cannot change it anymore. Once it's there, you cannot change it anymore. So here we demonstrated by creating another project. Now the project is student grades tracker. Now the tracker can store student grades and allow retrieval and up. So on ChatGPT to create a project for us, the student grades tracker, that will allow again the retrieval and the update of the grades. And this time, let's ask him to provide also some explanation. This is good for you when you're studying, when you're doing your individual projects. So let the technology provide some information and description of what the code generates. Now all we need to do now is to copy that, and this time I will not use IntelliJ. Let's try to use the internet. We go here to programmis.com. You can try other environment, but this one is the online Python compiler Programmis. So all we need to do now is paste it here, and I will try to explain before we run the program. Now in the first lines here, we just need to define the students. There are two students here, Alice and Bob, and these are the corresponding grades. Now in the next line, we print the student grades, which is essentially Alice grades and Bob grades. Okay, for now these two students will suffice to demonstrate the power of dictionaries, keys, and tuples. Now in the next line, for the student, okay, we print the student and its grades. Now the grades in students have this command, which is items. Now what is this items? These items will now retrieve. This is very convenient because it will retrieve both the key. The key here is assigned to be the names of the student, and the value. The value is essentially the grades. Now this command is very useful because it will just allow us to retrieve both of them, the student names and the grades. Now, so I have said the grades is a tuple. You cannot change it anymore. All we can do is to append it. Now let's ask the user to input the name of the student that he wants to update. And there's also a succeeding command here, which is strip. The dot strip there will remove any leading or trailing spaces that the user might input. So later we'll just try it. We'll just add some spaces and let's see if the input is still valid. Now the new grade now, of course, we ask the user to input an integer. Now this one is the integer now is the new grade. Now the new grade will now be appended. Okay, so the system will just essentially add the new grade that the user will input. So the student's name here and the new grade. Essentially the new grade is the grade that's being passed by the user. Okay, so all we need to do now is to print the updated grades, which is the students. And let's try it. We run it, And there you are. We have the printed student and the corresponding grades. Okay? And then the system is asking us to enter the student name to update. Okay? Enter the student name to update. So again, we'll demonstrate the strip part. So let's try it. Alice. And we have some, if we accidentally put in some spaces, then is that fine? Yes, it's fine. So we enter a new grade. So here in this line, we enter a new grade. So let's say I want Alice, for example, Alice got a perfect score in the exam. So as you can see now, the student's name with the new grade. The new grade here is what we input, which is 100. As you can see, 100 here is being appended, and it is essentially a new tuple. The value here, the grade, is a tuple. So let's try it again. This time, let's use Bob. Okay, so Bob, there are spaces again. It's fine. Assuming Bob, uh, he got a passing mark, which is normally it's half. Okay, so let's try 50. And as you can see, it's also appended as a new grade. Here we have successfully demonstrated the dictionary, where in the dictionary have keys and essentially values called the tuple. And the tuple is essentially immutable, meaning you cannot change the value.